there, this is Datila with Rangers of Wrestling bringing you the Just in Time post show. And for tonight, I'll be reviewing Monday Night Raw. Alright, before I get started with the review, I just wanted to say, I know last week was a little crazy. Monday was beat up John Cena Day, which is why I didn't do a Raw review. And then Friday, I went to go see Thor, which is a really good movie. If you haven't seen it, I highly suggest you do. A really good movie. And for someone like me who hadn't seen the previous Thor movies, they did a really good job at recapping everything. But with that being said, let's get started with this Raw review. All right, so tonight's Raw kicked off with the returning Brock Lesnar. I have to say, this version of Brock Lesnar, Cowboy Brock Lesnar, has been my favorite version of Brock Lesnar thus far and to date. I liked it better than the Beast Incarnate, the Conqueror. So they were in San Antonio, Texas, and Brock Lesnar comes out, he's saying, "God bless Texas," and he says he didn't want to leave his hat on because he wants to show manners. And so, I thought that was really cool thing that he came out with the cowboy hat, and he came out talking, and then, it sounded like he was trying to do a Texas accent. So I really, really like that. So basically what he's talking about in this promo, and he says that ever since WrestleMania, Roman Reigns has pretty much been living like a king. He says that there's a saying that pigs get fat and hogs get slaughtered, and Reigns is a hog and he slaughters hogs on farms. And he said he's going to give the tribal hog, yes, he calls Roman Reigns a tribal hog, a country, and then they get censored. So I'm assuming he says something, he says a bad word, kicking he's never seen before. And then Paul Heyman comes out. And honestly, with this whole Cowboy Lesnar thing, Lesnar has proven that he can talk. He really doesn't need Heyman anymore. And I really hope that after this storyline is over, if Brock ever does return, he sticks to the whole Cowboy Brock Lesnar gimmick and they don't repair him up with Paul Heyman, because he doesn't need Paul Heyman anymore, at least if you ask me. So then Heyman comes out, and then the crowd starts chanting, "You suck." And I think that they're chanting it to Heyman. And so they're just going back and forth. And then Theory comes out. And I actually like that WWE acknowledged this. Let's see, good segment from Lesnar, but yawn to another Lesnar versus Roman match. It's going to be the same typical match with the same finishers. Probably. They keep saying this is the last time, and hopefully it is. One of the things that annoyed me was that on SmackDown, I felt like they were trying to act like Roman's gonna have a hard time beating Brock when he just beat him at WrestleMania a couple months ago, Oh, so back to what I was saying. I really like the fact that Theory came out and they acknowledged at Elimination Chamber when Lesnar threw Theory off the pod, which that was probably the best moment in that match. And basically Theory comes out and says that he doesn't care about anybody, but Lesnar doesn't care about anybody but himself, and that he hasn't forgotten what has happened. And then Lesnar says that all the cockroaches come out when he's there. And then he said, "It's not going to be the last time WWE will call Lesnar back if they have no one for Reigns, because we all know Roman has gone through everybody." That's true. For some reason, Alpha 5 comes out. I mean, Alpha 5. My bad. The Megazord is right here. That's why I said Alpha 5. I mean Alpha Academy. Sorry, guys. Not Alpha 5. Alpha 5 did not make an appearance on Monday Night Raw. Although it would have been pretty more phenomenal if he did. Alpha Academy come out and attack Lesnar. And Brock Lesnar attacks both Chad Gable and Otis with steel steps. And then he gives Otis the F5 through the announce table, which I thought was pretty cool. And honestly, it wasn't a bad opening segment. It really wasn't. Like I said, I really like this version of Brock Lesnar. Cowboy Lesnar has been his best version to date. You could tell Lesnar's having a lot of fun with it, and he's actually talking. Lesnar versus Roman parts 8, 6, 7, 6, Alpha 5. Yeah. All that was missing is teenagers with attitude. Yeah. All right. So, okay. So then we had the Mysterios and the Judgment Day segment. Basically, it was Damian Priest trying to talk Dominic Mysterio to the dark side, for you, any Star Wars fans who might be listening. He was saying that in 2 weeks, Rey Mysterio is going to celebrate his 20th anniversary in the WWE. basically saying the Mysterio is washed up and done, and he's got nothing to offer Dominic besides like an old circus, just tricks that aren't even his. And he starts to offer him that he has something. Priest says that Dominic could have a whole new set of rules, and he offers him a spot in Judgment Day. He could have gone Darth Vader and been like, "Join us, and together we can rule Monday Night Raw." That would have been so cool. Imagine, like, why didn't anybody think of that? Like being like Darth Vader. Join us, Dominic, and together we can rule Monday Night Raw as Judgment Day. Imagine that. Oh my god, that would have been so cool if we would have done that. Oh, missed opportunity for a Star Wars reference, by the way. Throw in V Troopers, L2, LO. Well, if we're gonna throw in V Troopers, you might as well throw in the Beetleborgs and in the Mystical Knights of Tara. No, I forgot how to say it. So, like, he was basically telling him to join Judgment Day and step out of his father shadows. Hello, that's like Darth Vader we're talking about, and live his life. I really love the fact that Finn Balor said "tranquilo," and we can roll Monday Night Raw as a flop Monday. Oh my god. And Finn Balor says that Edge is gone and he's not coming back because he was a bad leader. And says Ray is not only a bad leader, but a bad father. And then they hit him with the double drop kick, which I thought was pretty cool. But this basically leads into Rey Mysterio versus Finn Balor. If you guys recall last week, the Mysterios won against Judgment Day by DQ, because I actually really love how they did it last week in Rey Mysterio's hometown of San Diego, paying homage to late Eddie Guerrero by doing the infamous chair trick. That was a really fun spot in that match. Unfortunately, this version of the match wasn't as fun as last week. The one thing I did like about this was that you could tell Dominic was like fanning his dad after he hit the middle turnbuckle. Finn Balor hit the coup de grace to Rey Mysterio's chest and ended up winning. As the Judgment Day, they took out the Edge voiceover. That's one thing that I noticed with the new theme song. But yeah, aside from that, Finn Balor is victorious here. But nothing special about this match. Match was okay. And unless I missed something, we have the Raw Women's Championship match. It's Bianca Belair versus Carmella. Again, even though Bianca Belair beat Carmella clean at Money in the Bank. Did I miss something? I don't think I did. But why is Carmella having another opportunity against Bianca Belair when she lost clean? Oh, it was because Carmella attacked Bianca, right? Becky before the match cuts a promo. And honestly, this match is nothing special. Carmella wins by countout. Why? Because Becky Lynch gets involved. So what does this lead me to believe? We're going to have a triple threat match at SummerSlam. It's going to be Bianca Belair versus Carmella versus Becky Lynch, with Becky Lynch getting her one-on-one match at Clash of the Castle. Why are we recycling feuds here when I think Rhea Ripley's still injured, but why are we recycling feuds here? Like, do we not have any more women? You couldn't call anybody up from NXT? Is Zelina still out with an injury? Like, why are we recycling feuds? Seriously, we've seen Carmella versus Bianca. But I get it. Because Bianca needs to get her win back. You guys recall last year at SummerSlam, Becky beat Bianca Belair. And so I'm pretty sure they're going to redo that so that Bianca Belair can get her win back. Mind you, I was there live for it, in case you guys forgot. I was at SummerSlam last year. So they did Bianca dirty last year. Awful match. We need Bayley back. Yes, we do. Exactly. Like, why hasn't Bayley returned from injury? She's been out for like almost a year now. Anywho, after that, we get a Miz TV with Ciampa. So basically, the whole point of this segment was that Ciampa said the reason he's been helping the Miz is because he wants the entire world's eyes on him. And the Miz is talking about Logan Paul, how he turned Logan Paul into a WWE superstar. And Ciampa says he wants that opportunity at SummerSlam, at WrestleMania. And then the Miz basically says that he's offering them Logan Paul one last chance, one last opportunity before he'll find somebody else. Ciampa feels so out of place next to the Miz. Bayley's been gone close to a year now, hasn't she? I seem to remember her posting about it recently. Yeah, she has, honestly. Sorry about that. So then AJ Styles comes out, and it was supposed to be a 2-on-1 handicap match, Miz and Tommaso Ciampa versus AJ Styles. But AJ, before the match even started, Ezekiel came out and he formally introduced himself to AJ Styles. And then he mentions how all the matches that his big brother Elias had with AJ Styles, and he says he wants to zeke up the crowd. This becomes AJ Styles and Ezekiel versus Miz and Tommaso Ciampa. Now, I don't want to give WWE too much credit here. I mean, it seems to me like they could have been building to Miz and Ciampa, or this whole pairing kind of came out of the left field, because if you guys do recall, and I have my notes to back it up, that the Ciampa had been helping the Miz for a while now. Like, you guys remember when Ali was feuding with the Miz? Like, Ciampa attacked Ali for the Miz afterwards. So that storyline had kind of been going on. Whether this pairing wasn't supposed to be intentional remains to be seen, but I don't want to give WWE too much credit. It could be a form of they actually, maybe had a storyline going on. Or it could just be that it came out of, they really had no explanation for Ciampa aligning himself with Miz, and they kind of just threw this together last minute, and it was just a coincidence. But hey, we'll never know. So then we get Ezekiel and AJ Styles versus Miz and Ciampa. Nothing really special about this match. The whole point of this match is obviously to set up Miz and Ciampa versus AJ Styles and Logan Paul at SummerSlam. But it's a typical match. AJ and Ezekiel win by DQ because Ciampa keeps attacking AJ. Good thing Gargano got out of WWE, yeah. And then at the end, AJ Styles hits a phenomenal forearm to Ciampa. So we get Alexa Bliss and Asuka versus Doudrop and Nikki, A.s.h. Nothing special about this match. Random pairing between Alexa Bliss and Asuka, but it seemed to me like they were going to pair up Alexa Bliss with Liv Morgan, but since Liv Morgan is now SmackDown Women's Champion, they just stuck her with Asuka for no apparent reason. I don't know, who knows if they're ever going to bring back the women's tag titles. I mean, Natty and Shayna Baszler kind of seem to stop tagging all of a sudden, so who knows. But what you need to know is Alexa Bliss and Asuka won this match. It's nothing special. Okay, so then we get the Street Profits and Usos segment. It was the same match 2 weeks ago, but take out Liv and put Asuka and we had the same match. True, that's so true. So as we all know, there's going to be a special guest ref in the match against the Usos and the Street Profits. Who is the special guest referee? I don't know. That remains to be seen. You guys have any guesses for that, by the way? I can't think of anybody who in terms of storyline, can't think of anybody that would fit the special guest referee. What about you guys? But the Usos basically saying the Bloodline runs both Raw and SmackDown, and they can show up whenever they want. Well, at least the Usos show up on Raw and SmackDown, unlike their cousin Roman Reigns, who only shows up whenever he wants, and not to mention only shows up on SmackDown. It's our truth. Seriously? It's going to be our truth? Or seriously? That's it. Wow. Okay. So basically, Montez Ford saying that they're going to take the tag titles from the Usos. If you ask me, R-Truth saved this segment, because this segment would have just been a typical Uso Street Profit segment. You know, them talking smack about each other. And R-Truth really saved it. His comedic timing really made this segment fun. So he basically comes out saying how he has certificates. You guys remember he's a divorce attorney, marriage counselor. He said he's even certified to fly a plane. I don't think R-Truth should be flying planes, though. And they said he's now a tag team counselor. And then he pulls out one last certificate, and it is of that he is certified to be a special guest ref. I'm tired of Usos for Street Profits. That's really the tag team division. No, you're forgetting. There's the Lotharios, the Viking Raiders, Alpha Academy, the Brawling Brutes, the New Day. We have quite a few tag teams, but they just chooses to focus on the Usos and the Street Profits. All right. So R-Truth takes off his shirt, and there's a referee shirt underneath, and he's basically trying to show how he's going to count the 1, 2, 3, and how he's going to eject someone from the ring. It's pretty hilarious, if you ask me. R-Truth, one of the undisputed kings of comedy in wrestling. The other two, of course, being Orange Cassidy and Johnny Swinger. For those of you that watch Impact Wrestling, you know what I'm talking about when I mean Johnny Swinger is funny, undisputed king of wrestling and comedy. So then the Miz and MVP and Omos come out. Sorry. And they interrupt and they try to make a plea for Omos being a special guest ref. And then Truth says that Omos can't count this town, with MVP firing back saying neither can Truth. Then a brawl breaks out, and you know what we're heading at. We're going to have ourselves a 6-man tag match player. Holla. That was the only thing that was missing. I'm telling you guys, they were exhausting every possible combination here, just like they did with RK Bro. Remember, they had Randy versus Jimmy, Randy versus Jay, Riddle versus Jay, Riddle versus Jimmy. Then they had the random 6-man tag. That was all that was missing from this feud. And now we got the random 6-man tag. So it's the Usos and Omos versus Street Profits and R-Truth. Don't ask me why. It's Johnny Swinger's gimmick swinging on the swing like Alexa Bliss. No. He's kind of like stuck in the 80s type of gimmick. It's actually a pretty funny gimmick. So I don't really understand the point of almost pinning Dawkins in this match to get the win for him and the Usos. He's not a part of this feud. So I don't get that point. I will say my favorite part of this entire match, though, was when R-Truth tried to copy his childhood hero, John Cena, by doing the 5-knuckle shuffle before he was so rudely interrupted by Omos. Best part of the match. Best one part. If only he could have completed that 5-knuckle shuffle, but no, almost had to just pull him out of the ring. All right. And then we get a Seth freaking Rollins segment. People, a 6-man tag with Omos doesn't make sense as to have him in it. Yeah, it didn't make sense to have R-Truth in it either, but hey, that's WWE for you. All right. And then, like I said, we have Seth freaking Rollins segment. He says he feels great because it's Monday Night Raw and it's the main event. He says there's a lot of conversation about Ezekiel, but he doesn't give a damn about the identity of Ezekiel, Elias, whatever. So the whole point of this segment is that Rollins is upset because he questions who the hell Riddle is. He says that he's just some idiot that Randy felt sorry for, and that Riddle's just riding on Orton's coattails, which I was like, ouch. And then he says that Riddle, he accuses Riddle of clout chasing by latching onto him. And then Theory comes out and basically asks Rollins for advice about cashing in Money in the Bank, as you guys know. And WWE constantly reminds us, Seth Rollins with the heist of the century by cashing in his Money in the Bank at WrestleMania 31 in the match against Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar and walking away as the WWE champion. I was there for that and have pictures and videos of that. It was a really cool moment. I'm so happy I got to be there for that. So, in the main event, it's Bobby Lashley and Riddle versus Seth freaking Rollins and Theory. The only cool spot in this match, if you ask me, was when Lashley speared Rollins into the barricade. Aside from that, this match is not that memorable. I don't consider this a main event. I really don't. There was nothing special about this main event. Like, I didn't understand why this main evented. I really don't. Maybe because it had Theory in it, Seth Rollins, Lashley, and Riddle. They just thought it would main event. I mean, and maybe because apparently maybe some people were complaining that the ladies were main eventing back to back, and so they just threw this random men's match in there. You thought it was a decent match? Well, but I didn't really care for this match, if you ask me. Although I'm a little confused as to why Dolph Ziggler came out, and he also came out in a suit. The last time I saw Dolph Ziggler, he and Bobby Roode interrupted MVP and Omos. And also, where the hell is Bobby Roode? I feel like he's been MIA. But Ziggler knocking Theory's feet off the rope because he tried to put his feet on the rope to win the match. And then at the end, he super kicked Theory. So, are we going to maybe get a Ziggler Theory feud for the money? Maybe for the Money in the Bank match, for the Money in the Bank briefcase. I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, overall, tonight's Raw I felt was just like it was nothing really special. I mean, I did like the opening segment with Lesnar. I did like that archer spot with he did the five knuckle shuffle. Everything else kind of just seemed so lackluster. 0 out of 10. Raffle sucks. This was a painful show to get through. Yeah, it kind of was, honestly. But I'm gonna be generous and just give it a 5 out of 10. A 5 out of 10. It was okay. We got some repeat matches that we really didn't need to see. But there were some things that I liked about it. But aside from that, there is nothing special about this Raw. But with that being said, you guys, thank you guys all so much for watching and for your continuous support. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and make sure you hit that bell so you get notified whenever I go live or release a new video. And I'll see you guys on Wednesday live after AEW Dynamite. Bye.